and we will get started. Okay, so y'all, we're going to go through the first or the next section in our notes 2.1, which talks about frequency distributions and their graphs. Okay, so y'all, what we have here is something called a frequency distribution. It says there are many ways to organize and describe a data set. Important characteristics to look for when organizing and describing data are the center, the variability or the spread or the shape. Measures of center and shapes of distribution are covered in section 2.3. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Measures of variability are covered in section 2.4. And it says when a data set has a bunch of entries, sometimes it's difficult to see patterns. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about organizing data sets by grouping the data in intervals, which we call classes, and we're going to form something we call a frequency distribution. Okay. So let's figure out what is a frequency distribution. It says a frequency distribution is basically a table that shows classes or intervals of data entries with a count or number of entries in each class. The frequency is the number of data entries in that class. Okay, so um, it says an example of a frequency distribution. Okay, so y'all, we have the first class 1 to 5. So let's put some context to this. Suppose this information is saying how many times do you go out to eat every month? Okay, so the first class, I go out to eat 1 to 5 times a month. There's 5 people who said that. Does that make sense? How many times do you go out to eat? There's some people who say I go out between 6 and 10 times. So that means I either go 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10 times. There's 8 people who do that, right? Y'all, look at the last one. How many times do you go out to eat a month? 26 to 30. You know, you're eating every day out, right? But you can see that's really what that information is telling me, right? And y'all, what this does, it doesn't particularly tell me how many people go out to eat, say 17 times, but it tells me at least in that group of 16 to 20, how many times people go out to eat. Does that make sense? Okay. So it says in the frequency distribution shown on the left, well, at the top, right, there's 6 classes, right? The 1 to 5, the 6 to 10, the 11 to 15, 16 to 21, 21 to 25, and then 26 to 30. Okay, so we have something, y'all, that we call lower class limits. So just to give you an idea, these numbers right here are what we call the lower class limits. It's on the lower end of that range, okay? And then these numbers over here are what we call the upper class limits. In that range of 1 to 5, right? So in the 1 to 5 range, the lower class is one. I only go out once a month to eat. The 5 is that's the most that I'm going to go out to eat, right? But that's the upper and lower class limits. Okay. Now, y'all, we have something that we call the class width. How many numbers are in each of those ranges? So a couple of ways you can do it. You can just say, look, if I look at any of those, 1 to 5, how many numbers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what the width is. Okay, you can count them like that. 11 to 15, same thing, right? Another way you can count them, y'all, is to take the difference in each of those numbers. What I mean by the difference, to subtract 6 minus 1, 5. 11 minus 6, 5, right? 16 minus 11, 5. 21 minus 16, 5. 26 minus 21, 5. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Another way I can do it, I can also subtract this way. 5 minus 10, 5. 10 minus 15, 5. Do you see how everything is working out nice and neat, right? There's multiple ways to get that answer. That's how we find what we call the class width, okay? Now, there is something that we call the range, okay? The range right here, y'all, just to give you an idea, because you can see it right here, the range is the difference between the maximum and minimum data entries. The maximum data entry would be 30. Okay, so if I wanted to find the range, we can say let's take the max and let's subtract the minimum. The maximum was 30. The minimum, y'all, was 1. So the range, 29. That's the difference between the biggest number and the smallest number. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let me keep scrolling down here, y'all, so we can find something else. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to construct a frequency distribution from a data set. Okay, so y'all, this is where we're going to start doing a little bit of actual math, right? It's actual computations and stuff, okay? So it says, decide on the number of classes to include in the frequency distribution. The number of classes we have, y'all, should be somewhere between 5 and 20. Otherwise, it might be difficult to detect any patterns. We're going to find the class width. Okay, so this one right here, y'all, really, really important. It's going to tell me how to find the class width. So to find the class width, we're going to find the range. Okay, so look, let's do this. I'm going to make some notes here. Class width. Number one, we're going to find the range. Remember, the way we find the range is we're going to take the biggest number and we're going to subtract the smallest number. Okay. Then we're going to divide by the number of classes. Okay, so we're going to take the range and we're going to divide by the number of classes. Okay, and then number three, y'all, we're going to always round up. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute, okay? Okay, then right here, we're going to find what we call our class limits. So it says we can use the minimum data entry as the lower limit of the first class. To find the remaining lower limits, we're going to add the class width to the lower limit of the preceding class. I'll explain what that means in a second, okay? Y'all, one thing we want to mention, classes cannot overlap, okay? So when we were looking at the number of times people went out to eat, it was 1 to 5, it was 6 to 10, it was 11 to 15. There was never any overlap. You couldn't belong in two groups. You either went out to eat 6 to 10 times, or you went out to eat 11 to 15 times, but not in both, right? All right, so let's see, make a tally mark for each data entry in the appropriate row, count the tally marks to find the total frequency for each class. Okay, so let's see if we can figure out our first example. Okay, it says constructing a frequency distribution from a data set. It says the data set lists the out-of-pocket prescription medicine expenses in dollars for 30 US adults in a recent year. Construct a frequency distribution that has 7 classes. Okay, so first thing we're going to do here, y'all, we're going to make a frequency distribution that has 7 classes. So the number of classes, they told us already, it's going to be 7. Okay. Next part here, y'all, let me get rid of this little thing down here. Boom. The next thing is the range. Remember, y'all, the range, we're going to take the biggest number and we're going to subtract off, the smallest number. Okay, so y'all, I got a bunch of numbers up here. I need to see if we can find the biggest number in our list. Y'all, does that look like 405 is maybe the biggest number? What do y'all think? Yeah, right? Looks pretty good. So look, we're going to take 405 minus, we need to find the smallest number in our list. Anybody have an idea? What do y'all think the smallest number is? Don't be shy, okay? 135? 155, sorry. Absolutely correct. 155, right? When I was looking at it, the first thing I saw was 168. I hadn't seen 155. Okay, so good. 155, perfect. Okay, y'all, what we're going to do now, we're going to go ahead and subtract. So look, y'all, I'm going to take 405 minus 155. That's giving us 250. There is our range, okay? Now, y'all, the way we're going to find our class width is we're going to take the range and we're going to divide it by the number of classes, okay? So we said our range was 250. We're going to divide that now by 7, okay? So look, y'all, I'm going to take 250 and divide it by 7, 35.714. Okay, y'all, I told you a minute ago we're going to round up. 35.7, if we were to round the next whole number, it would be what number? 36. Okay, but one thing I want to mention, y'all, right here, when we round up no matter what number we have, okay? Now, what I mean by that is if I would have had 35.1, We normally say, well, the closest whole number is 35. But even if I got 35.1, 36. That's what I mean by rounding up. Does that make sense? So we're always going to round up, okay? All right. Now, what we're going to do, y'all, we're going to make our frequency distribution here, okay? So let me get rid of my calculator. Okay, so we're going to make 7 chunks here. I'm going to try to do this as nicely as I can. Okay. All right. So y'all, we said the lowest number we had was what, 155? Okay. Now, y'all, since our class width is 36, the first class is going to go from 155 to something. I don't know what that number is going to be yet, but I know what the next class is going to start off with. Because remember, if we add 36 to that, so if I were to take my calculator one more time, y'all, 155, if I add 36 to that, that means that this guy right here is starting at 191. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to do, let's figure out what the next number is. Let's take 191 and let's add another 36 to that. That means that this one is going to start at 227. Do y'all see the little game I'm playing now? Yeah. Okay. Let's try that again. Let's add another 36 to that. That's a 263. Okay. And y'all, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep adding my numbers. This is at 299. Okay. And we'll add 36 one more time. That's a 335. Okay. And I'll add another 36 to that, and that's a 371. And if you want to know, like, hey, when am I supposed to stop? I'm supposed to have a total of 7 of these things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, boom, 7. Okay, so we got them all there. Now, the next part is, well, hey, how do I know what my upper limits are going to be? Well, one way we can do this, look, y'all, if this one here starts at 191, that means that that number would have had to have been 190 because they cannot overlap. Does that make any sense? Okay. And then you say, well, what's the next one going to be? A couple of ways you can do it, y'all. You can say, look, if this guy here was 227, then that one there should have been 226, right? The other thing you can do, y'all, is you can say, look, if that upper range is 226, remember the class width is 36. You can also say, well, look, what happens if I add 36 to that? Then this one here would have been 262. And that makes a whole lot of sense because this guy here was 263. Am I doing okay so far? We're good? All right. Anybody know what this one over here would be? 298, right? And are you just looking at the one before? Yeah, it makes it easy, right? If this guy was 335, that would have to be 334. Okay. And if this guy was 371, then this guy here would have been what, 370? Anybody know what the last one's going to be? 40, how much? Let's see. If it's 370 and we add, what is it, 36? 406, right? There we go. Y'all, before I go on, are we okay in how we got to where we is? We're good? All right, awesome. Okay, now what's the next part we're going to do, y'all? We're going to do a little bit of counting. We're going to say, okay, what I need to do, y'all, I need to look at my numbers that we got here. We want to count all the numbers that fall between 155 and 190. So look, y'all, I'm going to go through and I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to go like, y'all, when we have a bunch of numbers like this, it can get real easy to get lost. So I'm going to go columns. Okay, 155 to 190. No, I'm looking for the ones. Okay, look, here's 155. There's no more ones here. No more ones here. Here's another one. Okay, nothing here. Here's, oh, that's that. I can't use 195, right, y'all? Because that's too big. It needs to be smaller than 190. So far I got 2. Let's see. What about this guy right here? 3. So look, y'all, 1, 2, 3, and I'm just going to put a 3 right there. I'm just counting at this point. Does that make sense? Okay, so look, when I do that, y'all, I try to just basically get rid of it. Okay, now what I want to do, I want to count all the numbers between 191 and 226. So I'm going to come back again right here. 226 and 191. Well, this guy's going to come into play. So I'll mark him right there, 1. 226, 191 to 226. Nope. Nope over here. Nope over here. Nope, those are all 300s. Those are 300s. 226, not there. We can take this guy. So 195. Okay. And I think that's it, right? Just those two. Okay, so let's put a 2 right here. Okay. Now, y'all, I want everything between 227 and 262. So can we take this guy right here? Can we take that 238? Yeah, so let's get him out of the way. Put him one right there. 227 to 262. Can we take both of these guys? Okay, 1, 2. Okay. 262, we can take that 256. That's another one right there. Boom. Okay. 260, we can take the 252 right up here. Okay, that's 5. Okay, we can't take any of those. Not these. Nope, that 296 is too high. Same thing with the 293. 266, just a little too high. 276, still too high. Nope. Okay, so look, y'all, looks like we got 5 right here. All right, so y'all, this is the hardest part, is just being able to look at the numbers and count. Okay, so now, my friends, I need 263 to 298. 263 to 298. So the first one, no. 263 to 298, we can take the 271. So that's 1. Nobody here, nobody here. We can take the 296. That's 2. We can take the 293. Okay. We can take the 266. That's 4. We can take the 276, right? That's 5. Okay, looks like we got 5 right here. The 2, which one? Oh, yes, there you go. Boom, my bad. Thank you all. Sorry about that, guys. Boom, boom. Excellent. Thank you for telling me. Boom. There we go. All righty. So, y'all, now I need 299 to 334. Okay, 299 to 344. We can take 307 and 306. That's 2. We can take 315. Okay. We can take, what, 330? Yeah. Okay, that's 4. We can take both 317 and 312. Okay, that should be 6, right, so far? We can't take 352, obviously not 405. 303, yes, that makes 7. Okay, and I guess that's it, right? So there's 7 right here. Boom. Okay, almost done, y'all. We're doing well. 335 to 370. 335 to 370. Okay, we can take what, 345, right? This guy right here. Boom. Can we take 352? Okay, that's 2. Let's see. Can we take what? I guess both 345 and 342. Okay, 1, 2. So that should be right there. Okay. And then, y'all, the last ones are everything between 371 and 406. And it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, right? 3 of them. The 3 that we had left over. 1, 2, 3, 3. Boom. There we go. The hardest part for that, y'all, was just sorting through those numbers, right? Okay, what does this do? What does this do for us? This organizes this information. Remember what this was? This was how much money we were spending out of pocket for prescription drugs. Now we can say, look, there was between 155 and 190, there was 3 people who had to pay that amount out of their own pocket. Between 191 and 226, there was 2 people who had to pay that out of pocket, right? Between 227 and 262, there was 5 people, right? Yo, now that we have this information, one of the things that we can do, or that we do now, that we organized this way, we can say, out of those 30 people, because it was 30 adults here, right? 7 of them paid between $299 and $334, right? That was the one that has the most number of people. What was the one that had the least number of people? And we would say between 191 and 226. But now we can at least make some conclusions because we've organized all of this stuff together. Does that make sense? Okay. So, y'all, we only got about 10 more minutes. Let's do just a little bit more, and then we'll call it a day, and we'll pick up the rest of this on Tuesday next week, okay? So, y'all, I'm going to scroll down a little bit further. I think there was a blank page there in my notes. Let's see if we can do this last one here, guys, and then in the next 10 minutes, and then we'll call it a day, okay? So it says construct a frequency distribution that has 7 classes for the number of minutes spent on the internet by 50 subscribers. Okay, number of classes. How many classes do we say we're going to have? 7, right? The range. Look, y'all, remember the range was the maximum number minus the minimum number. So let's look for the maximum number. Right now, what I'm seeing as the maximum, maybe, is it 88? That looks like the biggest number in my list, right? Okay, so let's go like this. 88 minus what looks like it's the smallest number. 7, right? I don't think there's any number smaller than 7. Okay. So the class was, so 88 minus 7, isn't that going to give us 81? And then y'all remember the way we find the class width, we're going to take 81 and we're going to divide it by 7. 81 divided by 7, boom. 11.5. So that means the class width is going to be how much? 12, right? And again, y'all, whether it was 11.5 or 11.01, it would still be 12, right? Okay, so look, y'all, we're going to see if we can make 7 classes. One. Again, I'm going to try to do this as pretty as I can, right? Now, y'all, when you're doing this in MyLab, they're real generous and they set up the tables for you so you don't have to like write all this stuff out. Okay, so look, y'all, let's see if we can do this. We know that the first one is 7 right here. And let's do all the lower limits first. So remember, we're going to be adding 12 to each of those numbers. So 7 plus 12, that should be, what, 19? And I'll do my calculator right here, y'all, just so I can show you everybody. 7 plus 12, boom, 19. We're going to add 12 again, 31. Okay. We're going to add 12 again, 43. We're going to add 12 again. What's that? 55. We're going to add 12 again, 67. And we're going to add 12 again, 79. Okay. All right. Anybody know what my upper limits are going to be? What's this one going to be right here, y'all? 18, right? And then this guy is going to be 30. And this one, 42. Excellent. And this one, 54, 66, 78. And if we add 12, anybody know what's 78 plus 12? Sorry. 90, right? Boom. Awesome. Very good. All righty, guys. Let's see if we can do this part. 7 to 18. Okay, I'm going to go down one column at a time. 7 to 18. And the first one, no. And the second one, no. Boom. There's 1 right there. Boom. There's 2 right there. Boom. There's 3 right there. Nobody here. Nobody here. Nobody here. Nobody here. Okay. 1, 2 here. 1, 2. I got 5 so far. What, 6? All right. Okay. Now let's do this, y'all. Let's try 19 to 30. Okay. In the first column, there's a 30. Okay. That's 1. And the second one, nope. And the third one, nope. And the fourth one, the 29, right? So I got 2 so far. And the third one, there is a 30. That makes 3. Okay. Over here, we got a 22. That makes 4. Nobody here. Over here, we got this 28. That makes 5. Okay. Let's see. In this one, we got what? The 20 and the 21? 6 and 7. Okay. And the next one, we got what? The 19. That's 8. Let's see. And the one after that, we got 23 and 29. That's 9 and 10. And I guess that's what it is, right? So we got 10 right there. Okay. All righty, y'all. Let's see if we can do 31 through 42. Okay, 31 through 42. Again, y'all, I'm just going to go down one at a time. In the first column, we got a 40, so that's 1. Okay. In the second column, we got the 41. That's 2. In the third column, we got a 42. That's 3. We got the 39. That's 4. Okay. And the next one, y'all, we can do what, both 33 and 41? That's 5 and 6. Okay. And the next column over here, nope. What about in this one here, 31 to 42? We can use the 31, can't we? That's 7. Okay. We can do the 39. That's 8. Okay. We can do the 39 again. That's 9. We can do the 31 here. That's 10. Okay. And in this one, nothing. And in the last one, we can take what, the 37 and the 34? And that's 11 and 12, right? Boom. There we go. Okay. Y'all, just a couple more. Let's see. Again, we can knock it out in the few minutes that we got left, just so we at least finish this part off. I'm sorry, which one did I miss? 36. 36. Oh, right here. Boom. Thank you. So let's fix that. That's 13. Thank you so much, sir. Okay. All right, y'all. We got 43 through 44. Okay. In the first, or 43 through 54, I'm sorry. 51. That's one of them. Okay. 54 right here, and 50. That's 2 and 3. Okay. In the third one, nothing. In the fourth one, nothing. In the fifth one, nothing. In the sixth one, 46. That makes 4. Okay. In the next column here, we can take what? Both 54 and 44. So that's 5 and 6. Okay. Let's see. Nothing here. Nothing here. We can take 53 over here. That makes 7. And we can take 44 over here, and that makes 8. Okay. All right. 55 to 66. 55 to 66. In the first column, y'all, we can take 59. That's 1. In the second column, nothing. In the third one, we can take 56. That makes 2. Nothing in the fourth, nothing in the fifth. In the sixth column, we can take 62. That makes 3. In the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the seventh column, we can take 56. That makes 4. In the seventh, nothing. In the eighth, we can take 56. That makes 5. And looks like that's about it, right? So I'm sorry, which one did I miss? No, we're good? Okay, 5. Good. Okay, almost done, y'all. 2 more to do. 67 to 78. Okay, in the first column, we're going to take what? 77? That's 1. In the second column, we can take 73. That makes 2. Nothing in the third, nothing in the fourth. In the fifth, we can take the 78. That makes 3. Over here, we can take both 67 and 72. That makes 4 and 5. And then I guess in the last one, we're going to take 69, right? That makes 6. Okay. And then the last one, y'all, 79 to 90. Is it just the two numbers, 80 and 88? Right? 80 and 88. There's 1, 2. Boom. And there's 2. Okay, y'all, I wanted to finish this, at least this part, because with this part, what we just did right now, we're going to answer some more questions with that part there, okay? Y'all, we will finish this up on Tuesday. Let me do just 2 things real quick, y'all. I know class is over. Let me stop recording. Stop it.